We will never be this young again. Never. We can be stronger, wiser, kinder, better. Better. Yeah, we're getting better. How? Pain, change, and change hurts. It also feels good too. There's joy, peace in the middle of the storm, love, a whole lot of love. I should know. In the last quarter of 2017, I moved to Houston, Texas, baby. Population 2.3 million. From Rochester, New York, population 207,000. This move from small city to large, from east to Gulf Coast, was a hell of a change. But I had to make it work to fulfill my purpose. Too old is for everyone who thinks they're too old to start over. Everyone who has gripped their balls and done it anyway. Everyone who takes risk, everyone who was scared, everyone living their best lives, and everyone who is tired of letting life pass them by. Too old is for you. Today we have the lovely treasure. Yes, aptly named comedian, daughter, host, a light. You know, I love the written word. It's my life's work. So we'll start with a short blog that I wrote. Then I'll kick it to you, get your feedback, anything resonates, and then we'll do the interview.
Okay, that sounds good.
Sounds good. And we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. I'm pissed when I step outside of the Riot Comedy Club. Pissed is too strong of a word. I'm annoyed, a bit shocked. When I walked in, I felt good. My white column dress with my white ankle boots, gold cluster earrings, and chunky gold bracelet were serving goddess vibes. My makeup and haircut were popping. Face card screaming, never declined. Inside, the vibe was cool. I sat next to a cute natural chick at the bar. One of the young comedy niggas joined us. Rachel came through. The contest ran smooth. So did my set. My entrance shifted the atmosphere. Had folks dancing in their seats. I landed every joke, infused some crowd work. It was giving Black Queen effortlessly. So when my name wasn't called for top 3, I smiled politely, then catwalked to the street. As I waited for my lift, everybody and their mama stopped me. You were so good, my favorite. I voted for you. I don't know how you didn't win. To all of this, I gave quick quips and kept my grin. P.S. Today's opening quote is from Romans 8:28. All things work together for my good. Not some, not most, nigga, all. PPS, after the contest, I vented to a friend who, per usual, went into full-blown dad lecture mode. And per usual, I rolled my eyes and thought, nigga, I know that. Until he said, you need to go harder. I gripped my metaphorical nuts. Huh? Like, you go hard now, but you need to go harder. Like you're holding back. There's a whole nother level, new gear you haven't hit yet. I nodded. You right. I gotta go smarter. PPS, these motherfuckers done woke up the beast. PPPS, white folks are tricky. They smile and say one thing, but vote another. Next month, we shall see. And without further ado, Miss Treasure.
First, when you said you was mad coming out of the riot, I was like, oh, her car got towed. Because I try
common.
it sometimes.
Right.
With parking wherever I want to park over there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you didn't win. But also,
Thank you.
it don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It really doesn't matter.
Right.
It's hard, though. I think I've told you this before, or at least I've said it on stage and then looked at you. I definitely have trouble with my ego that I'm trying to work on. And so not winning anything can be like difficult.
For sure.
It can hit harder than it's supposed to. But I like what your friend said to you. Because sometimes if sometimes when we don't win, or at least for me, I'll be like, okay, well, I did my best, so why wasn't it good enough? But it's like, okay, well, was it your best? Is there anything that you can give more? So I like that your friend said that to you.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a good friend.
So when you say that you try to contain your ego, because the ego is a term, it's one of these like new age terms you hear a lot, right? How are you defining ego?
I think my ego is basically like, it's like a nice little substitute for self-worth. Like it fills in the gap when I don't have the actual esteem.
Okay.
And so it's basically based on nothing. It's a feeling of like, it's a feeling of pride that's built on insecurity. So it's, when I say I want to control it, I don't want to control acknowledging my self-worth, but I do want to control not looking at myself realistically or having an inflated view of myself that's just compensating for not really believing in what I do have going on.
Okay.
I want some of this fake water. I told you I
Yes,
was gonna mess with you about
these are for decoration. They're empty. Okay.
Why they for decoration? They cute. They work.
Because then I have to wash them after each guest, and
These are new too.
And my ego is saying I'm not doing that. You know
Because
what I
they
mean?
got the packaging peanuts in them.
Right.
That means y'all just got them. Okay.
We brand new. Rip me out the package. I'm acting brand new. You did?
Nice. I like it.
And you like it. So, Treasure, with this show, the concept, right?
Refresh me.
Well, it's about aging.
Okay. Yeah.
And I want it to be, or it's intergenerational, right? So may I ask, how young are you?
29.
29. Okay. So how are you feeling about being 29?
I have a good friend that's very honest. So, short answer, I'm feeling good, but also kind of like, okay, like push harder. Feeling like I'm feeling good and feeling like a sense of urgency, because I have a friend that's like yours, gives really good advice, stuff you don't always want to hear. And she was like, you're about to be 30. And I was like, that's next year. And she was like, that's in 7 months. And I was like, oh, because something's next year. In my mind, it was like, okay, if it's next year, it's 12 months away, regardless of when I was born.
Right.
Is how I was.
That's how your math was working.
Wishfully thinking about it. So I do feel, I feel good, but I do feel a sense of urgency.
Why?
Because the gentleman earlier mentioned, like, I'm not satisfied with, like, if I wasn't, like, if something happened to me, like I died or I got kidnapped or I fell into the ocean or something like that. I'm not really happy with where I'm at or what I've left behind. It's not substantial enough for me yet. So that's why I feel like urgency, like, okay, well, you have a finite amount of time to do what you want to do or what you need to do. So start doing it.
Yeah. So when it's all said and done, right, when people are reading your obituary or people are eulogizing you, what is it that you want to leave behind?
In my will, I'm going to leave behind instructions that only somebody who's able to read good can read my obituary.
Okay. So we're being literary snobs.
No, I just enunciate, pause, make it a good story. I don't even know if I want an obituary. I think I want just like somebody got to sit there and read my memoir.
Okay.
And they were like, I wish she was still here so we didn't have to be at this funeral. What I want to leave behind though is the reason why I like comedy is because it has made me feel good. So I want to leave behind a body of work that include writings and interactions and experiences that make people feel good, so that people can look at what I said or what I wrote, or they can remember experiences that they had with me or that we had together, and that can fuel them to feel good and to do good. And I want it to be funny. I do want to leave behind quality comedy.
What brought you into comedy? When and how did that happen?
Short answer is I started in January of not 2023, January of 2022.
Okay.
I've always liked making people laugh, especially my mom. That always seemed like a gift to me. Like, because people make a big deal about it because they're always like, oh, you're funny. And it's like, oh, well, this must be something special if you're saying something about it.
Right.
So it seemed like,
Excuse me.
it seemed like, I don't know if you say bless you to a cough because it's like.
No, but I felt that energy. I felt like you, okay, yeah. You can keep doing that little hand thing you did.
It feels like something special. So it felt like something that I always wanted to do. Not be a comedian, just make people laugh. Because the idea of being a comedian itself, like as a job, didn't ever enter into my mind as a possibility.
Okay.
It's like one of those jobs that you don't know exists. Like I knew it existed, but it just wasn't like something tangible for me. And then when I was like around, I have a terrible concept of time. It could be anywhere between 15 and 20.
Okay.
Or 15 and 25.
Okay.
But that's when I wanted to actually be a comedian. And a big part of that is because I was going through some really, really dark, hard times. And one of the things that allowed me to just get the strength to do anything, to like just go ahead and eat, go ahead and just sit up, was being able to laugh. And specifically, a lot of that was me laughing at Conan O'Brien. And I was like, oh, well, he's... especially since a lot of his remotes, he's not even doing stand-up. He's just being funny around people.
Yeah.
I was like, that has worth. It had worth to me. And so I was like, oh, this has worth as a thing. And I'm not talking about money. I mean, like, it has a place in the world. There's a place for this. There's a calling or whatever you want to call it. So that made me want to be a comedian specifically, even though Conan's never been a stand-up.
Never? Until
recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he started off as a writer.
And then I didn't know that.
Immediately got on late night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for yourself, because there's so many different avenues within comedy, like you're just illustrating, right? Like, what is the vision that you have for your career?
Mostly stand up, because I feel like it's the purist sounds like obnoxious, but it's, I guess I'll say raw then. Like, it's a very raw form of telling a story. So I really do want to develop my skills in stand-up. And then I think acting would be fun. Acting would be fun. And then writing is very important to me. So I want to be able to write stories, whether they're like short stories or novels. I definitely want to write a comic book because that's the world that I work in. I work at a comic book shop.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I think so.
They probably be hitting on you like crazy.
Nah, but anyway.
you lie through your teeth, Treasure. Don't play with me.
But it's sad. Somebody told me that a person was hitting on me after the person walked away.
Oh, because you didn't know?
No, and I was like, I was wondering why he was still talking to me, because this conversation could have been over. And when they explained that to me, I was like, oh, okay.
So do you find you're somewhat oblivious to like attention from the opposite sex or same sex,
Yes. Sometimes. Often.
Okay. How did you and your boo, what was y'all meet cute story? Did y'all meet through comedy? Okay.
I don't think it's cute.
We'll be the judge of that, Treasure. Spill the beans.
We were a secret group the first time I saw him. And he was smiling at me and just being really nice, which sounds like, dang, he was smiling, you got a low bar. But all you need is teeth. But
I mean, you got good ones.
I remember he said something to the effect of like, oh, you're one of the assholes now. Like one of us. Okay. Yeah. Like, because it was just mostly guys there that night, and they had been talking about
most nights.
Yeah. I don't even know why I qualified it like that. It was mostly guys there as per usual. And that made me feel included, but also seen because I can be a little bit of an asshole. And so it was like sometimes people see me and they make assumptions that I genuinely appreciate. They're like, oh, you're so sweet, which I appreciate because I do have that too. But I don't know. It just made me feel seen.
Like that dark side of you as well.
Like, yeah. So that that was nice, but that didn't translate to me thinking they was flirting with me.
Yeah.
That was the first time I was attracted to him. Then later on, I saw him, and he was like, "Do you want to go out?" I was like, "What?" And and so yeah, we went out, and yeah, that was that.
That's cute. See? So I want to go back to something though, right? Because you mentioned, and I haven't asked any other female comedians this question. What is it like being in this male-dominated field? How do you feel as a woman on the comedy scene?
I do get nervous about people assuming that I'm not gonna be funny, and then that already being in their mind before I start talking.
Yeah.
But then also like a challenge, because challenges are fun, and then also that ego is like, oh, see, I am funny. Like I don't know why I got aggressive.
Yeah, yeah.
But so I like proving people wrong. That's fun. But other than like worrying about that, worrying like, okay, I'm a little cute. Am I getting any attention for that? Because that'll make me mad. Because, well, like time, like if I got extra time for something like that, that would make me mad though. Like, well, because
You get extra time at my shit because you're cute.
oh, okay, well that's different though. That's different. The cute and those are different things.
You talking about lust?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a word for that.
I got you.
It's a word for the noises I was making.
Yeah. I got you. That's what we do.
Yeah. So, So I worry about that. And then also, I would say that those are my main worries.
Has it empowered you as a woman doing comedy?
I think so. I don't know if I can say. I don't know if I can say like it specifically has empowered me as a woman, or I can just say it specifically has empowered just me as Treasure.
Yeah.
But it's definitely empowered me. So, and I am a woman, so.
Right. How so?
Because a lot of the time in my life, I feel like people don't really feel like listening to what I have to say. So when I get on stage and people are like listening, especially and I love it when I can make everybody laugh.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling. But if in between the laughs, the audience is looking at me and they're focused, that's a really good feeling. And so it's empowering to be like, oh, okay, just like that thing with like I said with Conan, like knowing that what I have to say has some utility, has some worth to someone else. That's empowering.
I want to go back to something you said earlier, because you said like one of your first motivations was making your mother laugh. And even when we were talking before we started filming, you mentioned your mom a couple of times. You love her.
I do.
What's your relationship like?
Our relationship is, first of all, it's full of love. That's the foundation of it. But there's also like some tension and pain there. But basically, like, she's my mom.
Yeah.
She's a person that I respect. She's a person that's very aggravating. And she's a person that that I love. Yeah.
What will be a "Mama, I made it" moment for you? And have you had one already?
So, it's two ways of looking at it. In one way, you could say there never will be one, because my mother is very religious, and so, and I like the values that I've been taught. I agree with them, but my mom is religious to the extent where it's like, well, this is Satan's world, so I don't really understand what you just earned. Like, okay, well,
Yeah,
so there's
yeah.
never
Yeah.
that moment. But on the flip side, because of that, like I showed her some of your bonk block emails, like the one about recording the show and you didn't know what the details were gonna be. I showed that to her because I know she worries about like the type of people I meet or associate with when I go out.
Yeah.
And I showed that to her. So just knowing that I was coming here to talk to you, to a person who has values, for her, that's the closest I'll get to a I made it moment, in that it doesn't have to be something big. It's just I'm dealing with people that have principles. Yeah, because I'm going to be on public TV next week.
Come on.
And I told her that. And she was like, that's good. So I think she's proud of me, but she also doesn't want to like give
that's
too
fair.
much like
She doesn't want to feed your flesh.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
She could clap or something.
Right.
Like,
well, we're clapping for you, Treasure.
Thank you.
Tell me more about being on TV next week.
Oh, okay. So a comedian that you know of as well, Ember Skies.
Yeah.
She has a mental health nonprofit.
So
So they're gonna do the annual show for the nonprofit.
Yep.
And it's gonna go towards helping people. She does like classes to help people. I think they're like, I don't know exactly what the specific classes are, but they do assist people with mental health issues.
Very dope.
Yeah. So that would be cool.
And then that goes back to what you were saying before about the utility of comedy, right? And you mentioned the dark times that you were going through and how comedy got you through. Do you have any other like strategies or things that kind of, help pull you out of dark spaces?
There's a lot of thoughts that I use, like definitely remembering that it's gonna be temporary, and then trying to remind myself that, like, my mom loves me, that my friend who gave me the good advice, Imani, that she loves me. Remembering that I'm loved. It depends though, because it's hard. Because if I'm in a dark space because of something that I've done, and I feel bad, then it's like putting that into perspective, or righting a wrong if that need be, or like sometimes for me it's like doing the perspective thing and realizing like you are trying to make this worse than it is. You need to get something to do, because not you.
Yeah.
But like, you need to get something to do, because clearly you're not busy enough, because you want to sit around and feel guilty. Like, so sometimes it's that. But if it's just like, because I do have depression, so if it's just out of nowhere, that I have to, what would help me more is if I got my little routine together, because when I have it together, it's like, okay, something to fall back on.
Yeah.
But just not giving up, having chosen to not give up a long time ago, so that when I do have those dark times, I can go back to that. Like, I feel like I'm rambling, but
no, you're not. You're good.
It's like when you get married, you made like that vow and that commitment, and then later on it's like, man, but he ugly. But then you remember you remember that you made that vow, so you're like, I guess I'll make it work.
Right.
So I told myself a long time ago that I wasn't gonna ever give up. So even when I feel like there's no point, like at all, I do honor that that commitment that I made to not give up. Yeah. That too.
Yeah. I just want to speak plainly, because I get what you're kind of talking around.
Okay.
And
both. Too. Yeah. Suicide, and to not just stagnate completely. Like, if I have to sit down and not be productive for a week or a month or a year, which really sucks.
Yeah.
Because I'm feeling bad. Okay, fine. But at some point, I have to make steps towards doing something that makes me feel like I'm not stagnating.
Gotcha.
It makes me feel like I'm moving forward. That's what that commitment is to me.
Yeah. And this is the double-edged sword of comedy, right? Because a lot of our comedy comrades are suffering from the same type of things, right? And we're out here to give joy and light and laughter to other people, but often it's like this silent suffering. So I just want to take a moment, and we've had these moments a lot off camera, but on record, I want to just thank you for being a treasure. Thank you for being a light. Thank you for being a supporter. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for being self-aware. Thank you for being accountable. The way you move in this industry, it's very refreshing and it's very needed.
Thank you.
So thank you for keeping that promise to yourself.
That means a lot to me. I appreciate hearing that.
It means a lot that you're here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What's something that you wish your younger self knew?
That I would feel better if I tried a little harder. Like that. But then I don't even know if that's fair to my younger self, because maybe I was trying as hard as I could. I don't know. I wish I would have known that I had more value than I thought I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I feel that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wish. I wish I valued myself more back then, or knew to tell myself that. That would have saved me a lot of trouble in terms of just like negative thought patterns, and then people that I allowed into my life and into my mind. That would have saved me a lot, having that. So yeah.
I feel that. What's something that you wish older people knew?
Myself included, I wish we knew how to just like pause.
Did you include yourself with the older people?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
I'm older than somebody. It's
fair. You're right.
I'm
My
older.
bad. Right.
Because I have a niece, and like she's 15, and I wish it's like I know where you're coming from, and I already know how this ends, and so we like give like jaded advice, and it's like the fact that you know where I'm coming from, you should know that the way you just said that isn't gonna reach me at all, and I wish that we had like we were better at like pausing and really truly empathizing with how something needs to be said to actually reach somebody at that state. Because I'll say stuff to my niece, because I'll just get like tired. It's like, I don't feel like breaking this down for you. Just listen to what I got to say.
Yeah.
And it's like, that doesn't work for anybody, really. So I wish we had more empathy and more patience.
That's fair. You're a Houston native. And what part of Houston did you grow up?
A-Leaf.
Oh, SWAT. I feel cool saying that. But not you laughed.
I didn't know it was called that until like maybe like I was in my 20s.
Okay.
I went the whole time. I was like, I thought I lived in a nice suburb. I thought everybody heard gunshots.
Right. Firecrackers,
Weekly.
whatever you want to call them. Right.
It's gotten way better. And it wasn't, well, it was that bad in like the 80s. But it's, a lot of it is people just remembering stuff. It's like, quit remembering stuff and it would be a good neighborhood. Because it's not that bad.
Right. What does Houston mean to you?
Different cultures. It means diversity. It means Houston means like seeing the beauty in things that aren't perfect. Because I used to think it was offensive, especially, okay, this is because of the person who said it, because I'm not exactly like super cool with my dad, and so one of the random times when he like popped in and out of my life, he was like driving around and he said, man, Houston, as if he hadn't been there. Like the house that he bought with my mom, as if that wasn't there. He was like, man, Houston, it really is ghetto. And I was like, you're take me back home. But looking back, yeah, kind of. Like you got a mansion next to a abandoned building.
Next to the bando.
There's some beauty in that if you squint, but not like. I like the ruggedness of the city, the rustic. I don't know. I like how it's kind of rough, but it's not. It's like it's trying to be rough, and really it's just dirty and disorganized. But it's not rough because the people are like not really about that for the most part, depending on what part of the city you're in.
Yeah. What advice do you have for anybody who is a young artist and new to Houston?
Well, I would say, since you said Houston specifically, like don't start getting discouraged or feeling left out. Don't let yourself start to feel like lonely or give up, because Houston, I've never like lived in another city long term, but from what I've heard from other people is that the things that are happening, like fun stuff, like, oh, the museum's doing this or this or that, apparently we don't circulate the information as efficiently as other cities do. So don't feel left out just because you don't know what's going on and you always miss it. It's not, nobody's trying to exclude you. It's just apparently, according to what people tell me, our city's not good at like making sure everybody knows, even though we got them flat screens on the sidewalk. But those are like only in the
particular areas.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think that that spirit of rejection comes easy, you know, and I have that myself. Like sometimes I'm like, damn, like nobody told me, but yeah. So I like you sharing that perspective. Treasure, tell us something that you are too old for.
Well, this is the light. You know how like in clubs they have all them laser lights?
Yeah.
I'm too old for that. That's too much.
What's something? Just the way you talk is hilarious. What's something you're not too old for?
I'm not too old. I'm not too old for somebody to tell me about myself. If it's coming from a constructive place. I think sometimes people, no, very often, not even sometimes, often people are like, well, I'm grown. So,
Right.
it's a lot of, most ignorant people are grown because you got to be grown to be doing ignorant stuff. Because when you a kid, somebody's going to keep you at the house.
Check you, yeah.
So, I'm not too old for somebody to check me because I feel like we miss out, like, as a society on checking each other because sometimes it's like, okay, mind your business. But then other times it's like, if somebody would have just said something, maybe this person would have had a different perspective and been able to like not be as sad or not be as angry. But it's like, okay, they grown, they got it.
Right.
So I'm not going to just let people talk crazy to me.
Yeah.
But then again, if I do something that's that wild, I would want someone to hold me accountable and call me back to what's right or call me out.
You want somebody to care enough. Because I see what you did in the beginning when you was like, oh yeah, I told you this before, your ego. I was like, oh, okay, Treasure. But yes,
I want somebody to care enough, yes, but I also want them to have integrity and principles, because somebody can care about you, but if they don't have principles, they can't really give you anything in the way of guiding you. Because they can care, like, okay, we gonna do this crack together. Like, that's sharing is caring, you know? But that person doesn't have the guiding principles to help you with anything. So, like, not just
I should keep my crack to myself.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you have any. No offense. But, yeah, they gotta know.
Yeah.
Right from wrong.
That's fair. Where can we find you, Treasure? And what projects you have going on?
So, I have 2 Instagrams. Kaiju Comedy, and Kaiju is spelled K-A-I. I guess I should be looking at this. Kaiju. And also I have one, Kaiju Side Quests. So if you want to like get comedy from me, then you go to Kaiju Comedy. And if you want to get my side quests, which are, I'm going to be interviewing Banke and just having uplifting conversations with people. A lot of it is I want to inspire people, and also I want to try to get a lot of free food.
Oh.
So
I'm here for the side quest then.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get free food, because the idea is like, okay, we're going to have the interview, but we're going to be eating, and then people be like, oh, she be eating on her interviews, let me give her some of my food so she can eat it.
Smart.
So, yeah, you can find me on either of those. And then also I work at Gulf Coast Cosmos comic book shop. So you can just pop on in there and find me. Yeah.
Awesome. But if you're not creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't come here with all of that creepy stuff.
Because they get enough.
We don't have creeps, though. I think it's because our vibe is, I don't know, chill. Maybe it's because it's in Third Ward. I don't know. We don't have creeps.
Oh, the one that's right by Kendrick? Oh, okay. I take it all back. No, okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's chill.
Gotcha. All right. Bet. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys for tuning in. We love you. God bless.